He says, I'm 43 and the rule of 55 is interesting for flexibility. Should I roll my Vanguard IRAs into my 401k to have that option? You're going to have to say what the rule of 55 is.
Well, the answer is, Jonathan, because we're really good financial advisors, is it depends, right? Should I do this? It's very difficult to say, well, your unique situation, does this make sense? So let's talk for a moment about what the rule of 55 is. And Brian, then that you can talk about like the applicability, like how will Jonathan decide? Essentially, we know that with retirement assets, 401ks and IRAs and Roth IRAs, generally speaking, we can't access those assets penalty-free until age 59 and a half. They are built and designed to be retirement assets. So you have to make it all the way to 59 and a half before you can start pulling those out. Except there is an exception. If you retire from the company who held your 401k in the year that you turn 55, you can begin withdrawing assets from your 401k plan without paying a penalty. You're still going to have to pay ordinary income tax if you're pulling out of the pre-tax portion, but the 10% penalty goes away. So we tell people often, hey, you're 54. Man, if you could just stick it out until next year, then you'll be able to access those dollars if you're going to need them for part of your retirement planning. So a lot of people don't realize that. And so they might decide, oh, okay, I'm retiring and I'm 56 years old. I'm going to roll my whole 401k into an IRA, not realizing what they've really done is they have now encumbered those assets where they can't get to them for a few more years. So Rule of 55 is a fantastic planning opportunity for those who are thinking about leaving the workforce before 60. So then the question is, one, Brian, does it work? Can I just roll IRA assets into a 401k and will I then be allowed to use those at 55? Then how do I know if this makes sense for me? Is this something that I should do?
Did Jonathan give us his age?
43.
This is, we got a ways.
Well, I said it depends.
So that's why, I will tell you, Jonathan, and Bo kind of alluded to this, but it's just worth clarifying. Don't do this because if you're in your 40s, you do this, you work for this company for 7 years and then you leave at 50 years of age and then think you're going to come back and you'll have this basket of funds at 55 that you get access to. No. Remember, Bo's key part is it has to be the year that you turn 55 or you have to be over 55. So those are key elements. The second thing, look, Vanguard is one of the low-cost providers. We talk about Fidelity, we talk about Schwab, and we talk about Vanguard as being some of those low-cost providers that let you have great access to index funds and really create a lot of opportunities. A lot of 401ks, it's no coincidence, I think, by the same discussion that the largest 401k providers for employers is Fidelity's at the top of the list, but then Vanguard and Schwab are up there as well. So because they're good at being low-cost plans. But that does not mean that your 401k is the equivalent, because there's still a lot of 401ks. We see them from a decent amount of time where you don't know if it's the golf buddy or the college roommate or whoever it was that set up this plan, but it's expensive, it has poor investment choices, and it's just not very feature rich or as useful as maybe some of the things you can set up when you started funding your IRA or did your IRA rollover after you left your last job. So that's the part that rolls into the it depends. Is you can't skip doing the homework. Don't skip leg day. You've actually got to do the work of making sure you understand what you'd be rolling it into. Now it makes it much easier. Maybe the company you work for is a Fortune 500 company, and it is one of those equivalent plans at Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard. You still do the homework of looking into the plan to make sure it's as low cost as we're talking about, that there's not some expensive fees that are attached to it. And then I think you just have to build it into your financial plan. This is part of that complexity that we say finds you. You don't have to go looking for it. It's just as you're trying to figure out how you land the airplane and how you actually start using the resources, go from saver to a spender of what you've been building for these decades. This is definitely part of the plan. And I'd encourage you, if it gets too complicated, don't feel like you have to figure this all out, yourself and be the first one that creates and invents this path. Hire somebody who's done this hundreds, if not thousands of times.
So you're saying it depends on, is it the right decision? Meaning, is my current 401k as good as the IRAs? The other thing is the timing right? I'm 43. I don't necessarily have to do this. I could also carry out this strategy at 53 and it would still be just as viable. And then the third thing I would just add out is, would doing this now and today open up other planning opportunities? If you're someone who's maybe you can't do Roth contributions directly and you can't do backdoor Roth contributions, maybe rolling over the IRA today would open up the ability for you to do backdoor Roths. So it's just like you said, you got to do the homework. Don't skip leg day. Make sure you understand the implications of the decisions you're making and make sure you're making the best decision for where you are right now in your financial journey.